Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I have a very fantastic and exciting cast for you today. We are going to be seeing some very interesting things in this particular matchup because we have a 2 versus 2 on none other than Platform of Peace, a map by BiddyB. And this 2 versus 2 has randomized spawns, so we actually don't have what you might suspect the teams would end up being. And also, we are playing Massacre, which is a game mode where you do not harvest Vespene by harvesting from the geyser. You collect it by training and killing units. And you also get double the units from every training. So every time you make a worker, you're going to get double units. And every time you kill a unit, you're going to get 3 Vespene gas. Just like every time you make a unit, you're going to get 3. Obviously, technically, that's 6 because you make 2 units at a pop. But that also applies for things like Brood Spawn or spawning Simulacrum. That kind of stuff. So very interesting stuff. So over here we have an interesting lineup. We've got SosijLord, who appears to have stolen his teammate's color. He is the Dark Sapphire Protoss in the top left. And his ally, I believe, is Raenarill, the what is it? Tomato Terran? Scarlet Terran in the bottom right. And so SosijLord just kind of giving a little bit of misdirection here. The other team is Pisens, who is in the top right. He is our Terran player, who I believe is maybe Maya Blue? Electric Blue. And in the bottom left, we have none other than a new player alert, Chomo, who is our Asparagus Protoss, Vine Green Protoss. Those are some difficult colors to guess. And some guest commentary from my dog telling me he wants me to pause everything I am doing so I can let him out of my room. Some might ask, why is your dog in your room? And the answer is, he wanted to be, until he didn't want to be. Pisens is going to come in here and focus down SosijLord's Ecclesiasts. Definitely a good move to protect the Wardens, but now Raenarill arrives with his Scarlet Mavericks painting the battle in a much deeper red. There's more Mavericks where that came from. These Wardens are slowly warping in, but the Vassals are not springing into action. Chomo definitely wants to get on the board there, but the first Warden finishes. The second one should be quick enough as the Mavericks continue to reign supreme. We've got plenty of Wardens over here defensively for SosijLord, so I don't think he's really liable to get killed, but we could get Stim plus the enchantment from that Vassal, allowing Pisens to run up. I wish he had some Hurricanes or something to really tear into that, but meanwhile, the anchor moves have definitely arrived here. Raenarill surprising us all and focusing down that pylon. Nice snipe there as he lands his second anchor. The Stim comes in, and honestly, it looks really good from Pisens, who's able to get rid of one of those anchors. And he's just going to continuously produce out of all of these stockades. Remember, the Vespene production is usually pretty limited, but we've got our Terrans here limited quite a bit by the amount of gas that they have. Their mineral throughput not nearly as good comparatively. And the stockade count definitely seems higher for Pisens than it is for Raenarill. So eventually he is going to run out. And look at that, 12 Vassals already. Shades of 3 Crow from Chomo as he continues to wrangle things. He even throws a couple of scribes in there just in case for good measure. Now trying to isolate since they've taken the middle of the map. Definitely seems like the meta on this map is trying to take that middle, but we are seeing a lot of extra Mavericks be required for Raenarill to really hold against the onslaught, especially as Chomo's Vassals come on in. That's going to be a big deal. I don't know who Chomo is. Maybe that's an alternate ID for somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it's just a guy who's in the server. Pretty cool stuff to see. The Latin-speaking, the Spanish-speaking players taking over. But now here we go. SosijLord comes on in with the Ecclesiast. The Zealots as well, doing plenty of damage. Stims are good for Pisens, but he's not really microing his army. Instead, the Vassals are just shredding these Masons while more Mavericks come out for Raenarill, but they're just going to get gunned down anyway. And more Mavericks are raining down in from Pisens. I think maybe they might start to get held. Worker damage has been pretty okay, but Pisens is actually behind in terms of worker count, and the Vassals are going to start to get shredded by these stimmed Mavs. As, of course, SosijLord continues to make things happen. He's got plenty of Mavericks to contend with, but there's no Hurricanes coming, even though those are also mineral-only units. He's making 7, which is actually 14 Mavericks at a pop, but I don't know if it's going to be quite enough. All right, first round is out, and those Zealots are just going to be absolutely gutting them. The Vassals continuing to rain terror in Raenarill's base. I think they're going to get flushed out. I said that a few times. Obviously, the worker count has started to fall, but those Vassals are very desperately needed. Workers pulled just to see if they can extend the life of Pisens. I mean, even if this was like a 5-minute cast, I might consider posting it because it has been so silly, but I think we're going to continue on because the Zealots actually fall away as the Vassals come in. They very slowly do damage, and now Raenarill can take to the middle of the map with his Maverick count that he's banked up. I still think him and Pisens are pretty competitive, but as the Vassals come in to change the tide, it's definitely going to change our minds on that one. So our blue and green team are kind of struggling as to which focus they should have, which target they should be picking off individually. Draken's the first Vespene investment I've seen so far in this game are coming out. I don't know if they're super good versus Vassals, but I suppose for now they're doing the trick. Raenarill is still barely holding on with the Mavericks. I feel like he's very liable to get gunned down as more and more reinforcements stream in. And the Vassals here from Chomo are just going to see if they can hold back the Protoss long enough for Pisens to commit every Maverick he owns into that neck of the woods. And more Vassals are coming out. We know SosijLord has to come to his defender's aid, or his allies' defense, something like that. And the Mavericks are just on a waypoint. They're not being controlled. Pisens needs to put down every lick of damage he can to this position as Raenarill is stabilizing only barely. We got more Vassals coming out as well. It's a monocomp from Chomo and from Pisens, and I guess so far from Raenarill, though I will credit him with those anchors earlier on. Chomo's forgotten entirely about the Warden push into the middle of the map that he was thinking about earlier. Oh my god, look at the Vespene gas. There's nothing coming from besides Draken's from SosijLord, and everybody else has basically just decided to camp on top of their Vespene gas. We got 29 and falling Vassals. We got more coming as well. Raenarill just trying his best to continue onward. The worker count could definitely rise for basically every player here. SosijLord has made a ton of them, though, and he's also expanded. Feels like he is definitely going to be able to continue muscling through, and I think Chomo is in for a rude awakening as these Draken's storm to the gates. There's only a couple of Wardens and 3 Lattices. He's making Manifolds. That's not going to help him out. Cyprians have been assembled, which are great into the comp that Raenarill's produced. At this point, though, I think you have to trade. You're not going to be able to come in here and defend Chomo from basically himself here at this point. No, you needed to focus on killing Raenarill and turning this into a one-on-one, which I still think would be a bit of a waste since the Vassals are slowly heckling SosijLord, shutting down some of his production. They've already killed everything at that Nexus, and so Sausage has been dealt a pretty bad hand here. He's got a great comp. If Pisens can maybe just go turbo defensive now, then maybe these Vassals will help seal the deal as the last of the economy for SosijLord is basically fractured. He's only got a... Oh, wow, he's actually down to his last worker there, which Chomo is trying to right-click. Okay, he finally gets it. There's still a little bit of money there, but yeah, that's very, very dire, and we're going to need to see him slowly rebuild. Of course, Chomo is also down to basically no money. Those scribes need to be evacuated. His Vassals are kind of getting caught up on every little thing here, and Pisens is not supporting, so I don't think those scribes are going to make it. Oh, escorted by the Vassal deaths. Sped up there. We're going to see 3 scribes survive. And he's just trying to build Nexuses just to slow the enemy down. As Pisens, he uses only Mavericks, and he's going to get sandwiched by Raenarill and the Draken's of SosijLord. This looks like it could be the last little bit of, the little bit of effort here from our Pisens Chomo squad. Electric Blue is definitely right. It has been an electric game. But I am pretty sure at this point we can call it. At least it seems like, at the very least, the fact that SosijLord can kind of slowly rebuild, and Pisens hasn't developed his economy at all. Never really found it in him to put down another ministry or anything. We could have had a Nexus. Oh, he's going to put down a treasury. Okay, there's that at the very least. More Mavericks trying to hold the ramp. We got 1 Warden, 2 Wardens, 3 being made slowly. I guess they'll actually end up adding some impact, but we have no crowd control for this. No Phalanx, no Cyprian. Going to be very, very difficult. Even these Wardens could have maybe been engrams given the bank that Chomo still has to operate with. The Draken slowly walking past everything, and they are going to eventually dismantle those Mavericks. Maybe they can be held at an arm's length. Send Mori, he says. Does he have Mori? I don't think he has Mori. Sorry, dude. That's all Sausage has. Remember, he was a finite player. He has to rebuild his economy from basically nothing. The ground floor. Wow! I think this is actually going to be a game that goes on. I was really ready to call it for Raenarill and Sausage, but that Protoss army needs to be conserved, and the Mavericks are going to try to make it so they can't be. No opportunity saving for another attack. Most of these gateways unpowered. At least 2 Nexuses were still up and running. And Chomo, he's only got 500 minerals left, so he's got to choose wisely. The Mavericks on the other side are going to go ahead and try to carve their way through, but all they're really successful at doing is killing a Warden before it can finish, and really otherwise just perpetuating the stalemate. At the very least, no Draken's died. technically a lot of Draconins died to Mavericks here, and that means that you guys need to give some money on the coffee page. I'm pretty sure that's the rule we've established. Tier 2 was indeed dropped by Raenarill. I can't believe he's doing it. He's even putting it where the the expansion should be, which is a bit funny. Can't return resources there, my friend. That would unironically make it really difficult to place if it was a resource drop-off point. Some people have asked about it before. My answer is, do you want to be able to fit your tech into a cheeky spot? Because sometimes it's pretty useful. The Protoss is slowly rebuilding. SosijLord's economy is back up to 30 workers. He is now a real bona fide player, a real boy. And Pisens versus, you know, everybody else, Pisens versus the world, he is going to get overwhelmed here. He has not developed his eco to conquer multiple players, and he has in no position to break this spot. The Zealots are slowly going to get evaporated, but at this point, the Draconin count is still high enough to hold these Mavericks off. More of them are coming. Maybe he can go for a bust here? It feels like the answer to that has got to be no, as the Mavericks struggle to break these Draconins, and especially as reinforcements come down, right? I think Raenarill's going to drive it home. Captaincy's slowly coming up. He's got so much gas, he doesn't know what to do with it. Some of those Mavericks not quite working out. We see some Fulcrums in desperation. Pisens has 2,000 gas. He absolutely could have brought those up to bear a lot sooner, but Chomo has almost no money left in the bank. He's been slowly returning to his allies' town center. The Zealots forming a conga line of death against that Warden. I guess that for now we will see a little bit more, but we were making Olympians in Massacre. That's what Raenarill's idea is. His idea of a good time. I still think actually if Phalanxes get up here, Pisens might have a chance to continue to outlast, but I mean, these mineral fields are eventually going to deplete. It feels like eventually the Protoss player will also be able to do something. Right now he's just expanding into Chomo's corpse, but look, there's no tech being developed here right now, so actually, SosijLord has 300 gas, and he's mostly spending it on Draconin Ecclesias. So many Mavericks. Palladium's on the way for those Fulcrums, like I said. Phalanx goes a long way here. We've got Olympians on the way. SosijLord is indeed expanding twice. It feels like this is impossible for Pisens. Maybe he can change our minds. If he gets enough Phalanx, he can actually overwhelm even these Olympians who are gunning down Infinity Mavericks slowly but surely. If that's a cost efficiency we can look forward to, I don't think Pisens has a hope in hell. Chomo could definitely have been making more scribes during this, by the way, and he is slowly starting to grab a couple of extra workers, saturating that natural expansion of Pisens and returning the money over. Eventually the Olympians fall, but they get all the way. Yeah, this looks pretty deadly here. I'm finding it difficult to believe in the Pisens dream. His first 4 Phalanxes are on the way. Remember, that's double every unit you make, including the tech units. As the Olympians hold off the reinforcements, the Draconins continue to march to victory, and we've got 2 Stargates coming for SosijLord. They are safely in his main base, so there's not even a chance that Pisens can counterattack to Chomo's last residence before he was evicted. The Phalanxes are going to step forward. As long as they are actually up here on the high ground, we might be in a good spot. That last Olympian going to get absolutely culled. He calls out that there's Phalanx. That's actually more impactful in many ways than the Olympians. But they are immobile. Very difficult to really make matters happen here. Take matters into your own hands. Especially as they unsiege. There's a perfect opportunity for SosijLord to break the lines with nothing but the Zealots. And of course the Olympians are going to munch those Phalanxes. Oh, we didn't get another round sorted. Pisens, where's the rest of them? We could have had 8 Phalanxes up here. And even though you would have lost 2, you would have definitely stabbed the rest of them back almost immediately. Saved so many more Mavericks. Killed so many more units. Very interesting to see the range on the Phalanx, by the way. Just narrowly out of range on that Olympian. They did recently receive plus 10 damage, so the Phalanx is definitely a good pick here. Though. It's so deadly. We got another round completed, but that's all of the original 4 are taken out. A Bulwark on the way. That's great for your Wardens. Not so good for the Mavericks. Protoss don't know how to heal. At least most of the Draconins are getting shellacked at this point. But again, remember, more gateways, Wardens, etc. And now there's going to be some Exemplar. And once the anti-air... well, maybe we can get some anti-air eventually. We do have some vassals being pooled again by Chomo. Could they really do it? I feel like there's not a chance, but if they get efficient enough with these phalanxes, at the very least, I think you're going to see Raenarill really threatened here. He's not going to be able to finish that phalanx off no matter how hard he tries. Standing behind the anchors, here comes the reinforcements. More Mavericks trying to storm the gates. Chomo's getting in the way with his scribe. Not just potentially dead weight, though those wardens definitely helped out, but he's actively hindering his allies' progress as more Olympians are taking to the stage. There's more Zealots. It's pure Zealot versus Maverick Phalanx. This is a bizarre composition. And look, the Olympians have held versus the Mavericks now. The Zealots descend upon these poor Phalanxes that are priceless, worth their weight in gold, worth their weight in Vespine. Actually, Pisens has a ton of Vespine, so really that doesn't matter that much. Finally, Chomo able to help out with some combat units. We saw him make vassals earlier. He's not actually using them right now. The Mavericks slowly pushing back the Olympians as Pisens continues to try his heroics. He's doing so much work right now. Maybe we can start to believe. Tensenders are on the way for Raenarill, though, and the Exemplars are starting to shellac the Phalanx as the Zealots descend upon them and cut down those tanks. Cut them down to size. No deployment here versus all of those Zealots. Raenarill issues thanks, but of course the Exemplars are doing work. He can't stop making phalanxes, not versus what Raenarill's got, and not versus the Gateway Man army that's coming out of SosijLord. So something else has got to give for these Exemplar to go down, and the vassals will take so long to do it. But maybe they are the answer of a long enough time scale. If these Zealots can be held off, I don't think they can. The Mavericks, they got to stim and they got to get to the front lines. This has been quite a thematic battle for Mavericks. I think we're really seeing why this mode is called Massacre. Going back in all the way. I don't even know if they killed a single one. It looks like, yes, they did. A single Exemplar has fallen. Now you see Pisens starting to work Goliaths into the composition, but realistically speaking, I think he needed some kind of better option. He needed something that would be good versus ground and air, and that's difficult. Maybe if he had Infinity Blackjacks or something. The Auroras are out now to zone away those vassals. The Olympians will make short work of them as well, and all of a sudden, it's starting to look real dire. And especially as the Tensenders land inside the enemy base. How do you stop that? We got 5 Olympians in each one. Well, it looks like you stop that with phalanxes, the same way you stop it when they're landed in their base. But still, that was painful. And not only that, but the Zealots are breaking the front. Finally, I think SosijLord and Raenarill will topple Pisens and Chomo from their shared Acropolis. He didn't expect the Tensender drop. XDDD as Pisens and Chomo are facing their elimination. The Auroras have struck the natural. GG is called. And that was a deranged team game. As soon as Chomo's Nexus and Lattice are falled, or he leaves the game, yeah, there you go. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me for this game of Cosmonarchy. It was bizarre, it was strange, it was wild, kooky, and crazy. We're going to be back tomorrow for more Cosmo, so subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys very, very soon for more action like that. Or maybe something completely different, like a sane 1v1. We'll find out.